now.
Of course, yes. Yeah. If you're on your phone, Michael, turn your phone this way and see if it's up.
Is that better?
It looks. And then what you do is you take it from the high angle, so it makes you look thin, and you do some nothing.
Well, you just get a wider view so we can see the full beard.
Are we live?
Yes.
Right.
Oh.
Hey there! What do you say there, world?
Welcome to the Racers Recap, Season 29, Episode 7 of The Amazing Race. My name is Justin.
I'm Diana.
James Earl.
And today we are lucky enough to have one half of Team Mike and Liz, Mike Rado. Is it Rado or Rado?
Rado. You got it the first
Rado.
time. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thanks for having me, guys.
It's like there's things that make long A's.
Okay. Now, Mike, did you guys have a color on the team? Because I saw you had a green bandana. Now you're wearing a blue bandana. Was there any kind of color?
We had a purple one on this last night.
No, you know what? And I did the bandanas, counting on a memory challenge at the very end of the race. I did the bandanas in the color of the rainbow because I can remember that mnemonic device, the Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. So
that's great.
That is awesome.
Every leg I wore a different one, just counting out. I'd seen past seasons where, they just showed them pictures from, and they had to figure out from like a close-up picture where they were. And I'm like, well, if I get the bandanas on.
Oh, look at you.
I like it. Thinking ahead.
Yeah, a little race strategy. Yeah.
Yeah,
brilliant.
We didn't have a color because we didn't know each other. So it was.
Yeah, I didn't know if they gave you guys colors after you guys paired up.
No, they didn't. But you guys have seen Liz's backpack, so she could have pretty much matched whatever I wore anyhow.
Yeah.
How she managed to carry that backpack so long, it astounds me because I ditched so much stuff, because you feel every ounce, you feel it, and I was just like, don't need this, don't need that. She's a beast.
She is a beast. And they had a scale at the airport in Tanzania, and we weighed it, and it was like pushing over 50 pounds at one point.
Oh,
holy cow!
How heavy are her underwear?
It was massive.
My bag was like 20, maybe 25 pounds at the start, and then we ditched along the way. So
no, I'm telling you, Monomon's combined at the start was 37 combined, and when we came back, it was 15. I'm telling you, we ditched everything.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? You get used to it. Mine was just under 20, and I'm a real big dude, so it didn't bother me at all.
Yeah,
but
that seems about right.
I'm carrying hers, chucking it in the overhead bins on every plane, and it's like, because she's not.
The plane tips to one side when you put it up in there.
Oh my stars, yeah, and I love Liz to bits, but that was a heavy bag.
All right,
running for the mat, I'm carrying her bag. And we know we're in first, and we know they're right behind us, carrying both bags. And she's like, "Come on, Mike." I'm like, what do you want me? If you got to carry something.
Carry the 20-pound bag, damn it.
Yeah, take this one. But no, she was great. She definitely left stuff along the way because it was absurd the size of that bag. But hey, each their own.
All right, let's get into it. We'll kick off the episode with Liz and Mike talking about family and Mike crying, missing his daughter. I know it was Father's Day. I know that was a huge deal for you. So what else was going on? Was it just that it was Father's Day, or was it something else building towards that?
Well, you guys have been on the race, so it's like the perfect storm. It was stress. It was Father's Day. We just come from Tanzania, Dar es Salaam, which is sub-Saharan Africa, right near the equator, right in the middle of June, and then we're in Norway, right near the Arctic Circle. So I got a savage head cold, which of course I didn't pack any antihistamines or anything like that. So I got a cold or stress. I'm missing my daughter real. It was just a perfect storm, but there's still no reason for me to act like that.
Hey, listen, crying on the race is nothing wrong with that. Real men cry, right?
Yeah,
and here's the thing. I think especially for y'all, it was tough because at least all of us in our season, we had someone that we're close to. So I was with Mom, and no matter what, we may have fought, we may have argued, but at the end of the day, I can always bitch to her. She's always on my side, and y'all didn't necessarily always have that. I'm not saying Liz was a bad person, but I'm saying I had that support system that y'all didn't have. You really were on your own emotionally because you were disconnected from everybody.
Yeah, but I also think the good part about how you and Liz do work together is, even though that you have your differences and your little bickerings, you guys make up quickly and then move on. So I think that is important.
Well, that was something we agreed on from day one. Like as we're on our cab on the way to LAX from Grand Oak Park, we're going, look, we're not going to fight. We're not going to be that, because there's nightmare couples on the race, so there's nightmare teams on the race, and I said, if we get into it, we're going to get over it and get past it. And that was her. We both just kind of said, we're going to do this. And yeah, we fought and we argued, and it was usually my fault because I'm a horse's ass. And it'd be 30 seconds later, we're like, we're good. Okay, cool. Moving on. And it was gone. It was literally buried within seconds. So
that's great.
And I just want to clarify, I wasn't knocking Liz at all. I think she's awesome. I'm just saying that you really were kind of by yourself from your whole world. Like your whole world was left behind. And that wasn't true for anyone else in the past.
No, yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. And to the credit of all the other racers, we had such a strong bond. Joey and I in particular, being, Irish hockey players, both, we had the same job in the military. He knew when he saw me crying on the top of that mountain in Norway, he got everybody away from me. He's like, leave him alone. They're like, but he could, he's like, leave him alone. So he saved a lot of lives that day because I was just I had to just puke it all out and get it done with so I could reset and go forward. And that's what we did.
Fresh, yeah.
Well, I just want to give a big shout out, Joey Cavino in the chat room, Redman in the chat room, and my man Vern all the way from China in the chat room. Thanks for chiming in. I don't see enough viewers here, so I'm going to need you all to give it a little thumbs up, a little share. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. So if you could help grow this amazing show, maybe we can get a sponsor.
Yeah.
I like Diana's reaction.
Yeah. All right. So they are heading to Venice, one of the most beautiful places on earth, one of the places that pretty much everybody I know wants to visit at some point in their life. Definitely one of the legs of the race that we are extremely jealous of. 118 islands, that's 400 crazy. Bridges.
This is my parents have been to Italy 3 or 4 times. I think they were in Venice last year. So this was the first time that they got all excited about a location that they were at that, St. Mark's Square gets so busy. So they were really excited to see Venice. And, they're telling me, those streets really are that narrow. They're really that narrow. Okay, thanks, Mom and Dad. So it looked like an awesome place.
The TV doesn't make them thinner. They didn't edit it
thinner. All right.
Yeah, it was a.
Good.
No, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So on this episode, we're going to get 2 buses, 15 minutes apart to start, everybody, separating the teams in 3 groups of 3s. I like a little bit of separation, but 15 minutes for tasks that are going to take that this long, really not going to make a difference in the end. But we'll see how it all plays out. And the buses that they took were more like party buses than the, regular city buses. So I think that was pretty.
I want to point out one thing on the way to the bus is Logan had his little personality moment, and I loved it because they're not showing him at all. Him in London, they're not showing. So when he walked up to the board and he did his little heel clip and he did his little, I forget, it was some little jig thing. I loved it. I lived for that because I do think he has an awesome personality. They're just not showing it at all on TV.
Well,
agreed.
I do not see it at all on TV. I see it more on his social media for sure than definitely on TV. So Scott,
Logan's great.
Yeah, he seems it.
Yeah,
he seems like he's a huge dude though, very intimidating, but he's always smiling, so he's really not.
I hate him immediately because I'm 6'3" and I'm used to being the tallest dude in the room. And he shows up and he's 6'5", and he's gorgeous. And I'm a straight dude, and I could say he's stunning. So I'm like, oh, I hate you. I know I hate you. And then you talk to him, and I'm like, I can't even hate this dude because he's so cool. He's got that southern charm. He's all laid back, super cool dude. So as badly as I wanted to hate Logan, I couldn't do it.
Even Justin was like, man, that's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, that is a good-looking dude.
James,
can't argue with it.
Trust me, I already said that many a week. It's hot as hell. That's not even front.
Well, there you go. And Team Lolo got some good screen time this week. I'm actually going to give us some shout-outs a little bit later on. So let's get to it. There's a boat race to Piazza, San Marco. And before we get to the boat race, we see a little cut scene with Scott talking about how Brooke being negative is hurting the team. And he is trying to keep his cool and not spark any of her negative attitude. So at least he's noticing, but he's kind of throwing her under the bus a little bit.
I got to watch this week's race with Mama D because I was back home, And the moment when Stott was like, not with her, my mom laughed so hard, and we had to rewind it like 4 times. To their credit, though, they still work together so well, but you can see the friction within the race. I think they're probably the best of friends now, but you can see the friction, and I'm just impressed they're able to work through it. Because most teams would just crumble with that. They would. Yeah,
it kind of feels like he's watching himself to influence Brooke. And really, Brooke, I don't think Brooke's like taking anything from Scott about maybe trying to be more positive and trying to like have a better attitude about it.
She has the same problem I had, the self-awareness. Like she doesn't understand like how her actions are affecting everybody around them and how that's making her see them. So trust me, I know that's a problem. I'm working on it. My self-awareness, very low. I'm getting to it. I'm getting there. All right, so we got the boat race where they must look for a marked street sweeper. Okay. Ahead. Oh, I thought he was going to chime in. There was a boat race where they must look for a marked street sweeper. Okay, now I'm a little upset. Why did nobody know what the spezzino meant besides Tara? Did nobody?
Tara knew because she speaks Italian, so she knew.
I don't know what that means. Don't judge them.
But they knew, and they had hours before they got to the task.
No, okay.
No, they're on a bus, Justin. They're on a bus with nothing else on it.
Okay.
With a driver that speaks Italian.
Or the taxi ride to the Piazza.
With a taxi, somebody has got to speak Italian.
I don't judge him for that.
Well, you know, Justin's like Mr. Amazing Race. That's the stuff that he picks up.
I'm just asking. Maybe I missed something.
How do you go to the square and not know what you're looking for before you get there? I guess
I just don't think they had any access. Like maybe you talked to the taxi drivers, but it's not like you had a Google or a really big pit stop. You were on the bus at 3 a.m. and you probably slept that whole way because you're waking up in the middle of the night. And then when you get there,
I think that was the biggest part of it. It was the 3 a.m. is we are all gassed, like
right.
You know, it was a long leg of the race from because the non-eliminate or the keep racing in Norway,
right,
into Milan through the middle of the night. We never saw the sun in Milan. You got to understand, we were in and out of there under the cover of darkness. It was crazy. Oh, wow. And completed that roadblock and take the cab to Lake Como. So by the end of Lake Como, we get up and get on this bus and. That's we're all laughing at when you take your times. We're all slap happy at that point. We're all just kind of like.
So Joey just said that you guys didn't actually get the clue until you got off the bus, which I'll give you that on the bus. But you still took a water taxi on the way there, and on the water taxi, you should be doing something besides looking at the beautiful places. There, Mike.
Yeah, I mean hindsight and all that. Yeah, you're right.
Of course, I'm always going to
nitpick. A million things. There's always a million things I'd have done differently on the race, obviously.
Yeah, trust me, I'm harder on myself than anybody else. So
I was counting on Tara and Joey because we were working together the whole time, and I knew she spoke Italian, but because they got that first bus, I'm like,
yeah.
You know.
All right, so Joey says the other team seemed to wait for him to figure things out or wait for their team to figure things out and follow them. Mike, how do you feel about that comment?
Well, I think I just validated that. And I want to make I followed Tara. I want to make that very clear. I followed Tara. No, Joey and Tara and Liz and I at LAX, we just formed a real close bond because Joey and Tara and I were the oldest ones there, and the 3 parents there. They both got kids and they're terrific parents. And Liz just wound up stuck with the old folks home over in the corner there.
This was a defining episode for her, so I definitely want to speak about that.
Yeah, it wasn't even it wasn't even an alliance. I wouldn't call it that because Joey, Tara, and I, we didn't have any secretive deals. We didn't clear to everybody. We were working together. We were going to help each other out as much as possible. When they took first place, nobody was happier than Liz and I because we're like, all right, we just won 2. Let's let them, we were pumped. Like, we were excited. Like, we were wicked close. And, yeah, it was a good one. You guys know how it is when you race with people. You know the bonds you can get with people.
Yeah. Yeah, well, James Earl more than we. We didn't really get a chance to bond. We thought Kelsey and Joey were our best friends, and they were like waiting to U-turn us. Just couldn't.
I'd like to point out, you did me so much smack. I was so nice to y'all. I stood up for y'all so much on the race.
I definitely and watching some of the bonus footage. I really appreciate watching. I appreciate you behind the scenes when you're not around me. You act the same way, so I do appreciate that.
I mean, I'm just who I am.
Did you guys do one before it aired, before the premiere? Did you all like get together and say, "Hey, I love you no matter what happens"? Because we definitely did that. We definitely did that in the group meet chat. We're like, "Look, we're gonna show." I don't even remember what I said.
That kind of happened like right after our finish line. People were like, "Oh, you know, I might
have said
this. I might have said this about you, and I might have said this about you."
And they all felt terrible because we lost, and they were talking so much junk about us because they all, I guess, assumed we were going to win. And then when we lost, it was like, oh, that's just torture enough, so let's feel bad for them.
I didn't feel bad for them. I shot them while they were down. At the finish line, I told everyone what I thought of them.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Appreciate that. And sing it or bring it. Sing it. Teams had to practice a traditional Italian serenade as gondoliers dressed up in their striped shirts, touring down the Grand Canal. And in Bring It, they had to work as porters to bring suitcases to a hotel marked through these narrow alleyways. Sing it or bring it. Which one would you and Mama have done?
Girl, come on. I give you one guess. Which one would we have done?
You guys have been singing?
Yeah, sure. Okay. No, we avoid all foreign languages after France. We would have taken one suitcase at a time to that little hotel room, I'm telling you, before we tried to sing it.
Yeah, we said that we would have done Bring It as well. Although I said, like, I think rapping in French is much harder than singing in Italian because, like, for me, my problem was stuttering. Like, the rhythm of the rap is what I couldn't keep up with, and then I'd start to stutter. So I think the long, drawn-out notes would be... But I definitely would have done the physical challenge. There's no way.
Michael, now looking back, did you guys make the right choice?
You know, that one was the closest to a coin toss. I'd say every other detour that we did, I'm confident that we picked the right one. You know, Liz is strong. She's tiny, but she's a firecracker, man. She is strong. She's a farm girl. So we could have done that and gotten it done, but we both know how to sing. And I think because we did so well in the musical challenge in Brazil that we're like, oh, more music. No big deal. We're going to sing. No.
Yeah, and it was like £500,000 according to Matt Redman.
I think he racked it in at 50,000. I think was the final tally.
Oh,
that's what Liz is carrying on her backpack, so she's fine.
Right?
Okay, here's another. The people who are in Bring It. Why did they still have the backpacks on? They have a thing carrying all bags. They couldn't just take this backpack and go like this and put the bag on.
Or I even thought too, like the one person that's like pushing it at one point in time, I think Logan was like struggling. I was like, London, just take his bag for him. Like he was like trying to put his backpack on and carry the thing. I was like, just take it for him. Just coddle it.
Yeah, like just watching, the most frustrating part was like those carts were designed to go up the stairs a certain way, and everyone's trying to just like muscle and drag it up the stairs, and the suitcases are falling. And that was like one of the first two things that we said, like put your bags on the cart and use the cart
the way it's supposed to be. You see this weird.
I don't know if I would have figured it out. In all honesty, I don't.
Well, if whoever was in the front should have noticed there's weird wheels, and they should say there's weird wheels here for something.
Weird wheels, twice.
Weird wheels. There's really weird wheels. Well, anyway, let's move right along and get to the good stuff as Lolo kicks it off, lying to Brooke and Scott, and talking about doing a bad thing. They also lied to Mike and Liz here, and Mike gets a little pissed off for Team Lolo not helping him. Mike, why were you so upset?
I was a little cranky because I had it's in my nature, and I know you're going to hate this, Justin, but it was in my nature to help everybody when I could along the race. You saw me helping Brooke in Dar es Salaam. What they didn't show is that lock thing in Zanzibar, rather. We had figured out the drawer almost immediately, but the key was also, like with the fish lock, you had to push the eyeball in when you turned the key.
Huh. Gotcha.
I'm going to split the difference. I'm going to tell them about the lock. I'm not going to tell them how to find the key. So I told Lolo there, I'm like, I told Logan, I'm like, when you find a key, I'm like, it's a trick lock. You got to mess with the lock and the key. So I thought that maybe a little good karma come back my way down the road. And I'm like, do you see this dude? And I know they heard me. They ran right past this and they just kept going. I'm like, son of a bitch.
I kind of felt the same way because the first team that we helped on the race, well, we thought we were helping each other was James Earl, and then he turned around and effed us. And then after that, the next team we helped was the paparazzi in Argentina, and they never once tried to repay us.
Hold up. I'm going to do a timeout on Justin on this one.
What?
I'm going to do a timeout. Justin, answer honestly. Who found the address?
You found the answer, but we were working together.
Who found it?
You found it. Absolutely, you found it. 100%. But we were working together.
I know, and it's semantics because you said like we're not going to share it, and he kind of just didn't answer. So
look at you. You love.
Also, Justin, who gave you money in Africa when you needed it?
Absolutely, you did. 100%.
All right, I'm done with my timeout now.
I love it. All right, so Mike and Liz, they're getting a little pissed off. Team Lolo not helping out. Now, would you have walked or taken this water taxi? There was this a lot of people walking and other people taking water taxis to the Suitcase challenge. What would you have done, James O?
So that place, and I've never been there, but it looks god-awful confusing. Just half the time when you were getting instructions, people were telling you like, oh, it's 2 bridges that way, and then you take a left on this bridge, and there's 2 more bridges. And I was like, that was just already sitting on the couch. It was overwhelming. I can't even imagine in real life when you're tired. I would have tried my best to get a water taxi, but I understand that like some people were saying there was 30, 40 minute waits. And I'm not sure I'd sit there for 30, 40 minutes.
Hell no.
Right. So I think it just depends on how lucky you got with getting one quickly.
Yeah, I get that. Makes most sense to me. Dan, what do you think?
Well, my parents had to let me know that those water taxis are pretty expensive. Like 80 euro is what they said.
That's a lot
for the average taxi ride. So depending on how much money we had, is probably
250.
Although I kind of feel like when Tara, like I felt like Tara when she was like, let's just run, because there is a sense of like, I need to keep my money. And it sounded like you couldn't just hail a cab, that you had to kind of wait around or call for one. So I don't know.
Yeah, there were only a handful of spots that I came across in Venice where there was like water taxis lined up with like a concierge there getting everybody on them. For the most part, it was, if you found a water taxi just like in one of the canals, you hit the jackpot.
Right.
And that is but at the same time, and it is expensive, but you want somebody who knows where they're going, because it is a nightmare to navigate Venice. It's every turn that you turn, it's a dead end at the water or just with a old like 500-year-old brick wall. Every turn, every alley, it is so confusing.
Yeah, we noticed that there's no streets that go straight. They like go straight, bump into a building, make a left, and you got to go around the building.
They said that there's no like straight streets. It's like you know straight to a wall, and then there's a right, and then it's straight, and then there's another wall or building that it's really hard to get around.
That's it. You turn a corner, you're like, oh, this has got to be it. Bang, wall. You're like, this must be what this dude was talking about. Water.
All right, so running seemed like the better way to go, as the teams that got there first were running.
No.
And when they left at the same time.
Who?
No?
No. Matt and Redman and
Becca and Floyd.
Becca and Floyd took the boats there.
And they got there first.
Okay.
And then Tara and Joey and Lolo got there running, and they got there after.
All right, well, let's talk about this line that I didn't get. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I was aware of this engineering miracle, but is there a subway line in Venice? Because Brooke said this is like a subway map, and we need a taxi. Did I miss something?
That'd be news to me.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not
the underground trains.
Okay, I want to make sure there's nothing new that happened that I missed. But yeah, okay.
I think Brooke is like Miss Manhattan. She lives in Midtown. She's in the city, so I think that's where her headspace was at.
Oh wait, Zoe
like
said yes, there is.
Is there really?
Is there really?
There's a water bus.
A water bus subway system. Oh.
Yeah, but a water bus.
Well, listen, whatever. I just
said a water bus.
It's like a water taxi, I guess. I mean, that's what it sounds like.
Does it go under the water?
All right, I'm going to do some
research. We're going to have to Google it. All right.
Going back to Brookwood, I want to know, I wish I could know what was going on in her head during that time, because she was breaking down and flipping out, and I didn't understand why she got to that point or how she got to that point. But she was losing it in that moment. And I just don't understand.
Yeah.
I just don't.
She loses it every.
There was a part where like she had said there's a taxi a block over, and then Scott said, okay, let's go there. And then she kind of was like, go ahead, good luck. No way you're going to find it.
Yeah, he's listening to her, and then she's like, oh, yeah, good luck with that. Like, it was your idea. But I don't think she would feel confident about any challenge going in unless they were like, all right, we need you to go in there and be a lawyer. And then she'd be like, I got this. I'm going to kick this one. But any other time, I think she's just going to think I can't do it, no matter what it is. It's kind of the theme going ahead.
But it's all in her head, though, because she kills it. She does. And I've said this week after week. She kills it. It's the process of getting there that I don't understand fully.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Brooke psyched herself out more than anything. And I can't speak for her. I love her to bits. But I think she psyched herself out more than anything and then got in there and did it because she get herself so worked up that focus. And we've all got our own methods to our madness, and that was hers. And you guys know, I mean, there's the editing too, so
that is fair.
Whatever. It worked.
In the chat room, Vern, stop comparing Brooke to Flo. Brooke complains, Flo quits. Brooke continues and beats the challenges. Flo quit and never did a road. Or she did one roadblock the whole season. So
but wasn't that the bike one that she just like did awful at?
Yes, she was terrible at everything and should have been disqualified for having the people row her damn boat. But we won't even get to that. But anyway, stop comparing her to Flo. She's closer to Haley. Let's keep her on the Haley train than the Flo train. All right. All right. Tara and Joey seem to smoke Team Lolo in this luggage challenge, no matter how big those massive arms are. Seems like Joey's hustle seemed to pull through for this luggage challenge.
Yeah, I think Tara and Joey are a team. Like Tara seems to be not the stronger one, but the more mental.
She seems like the drill instructor, and Joey's like the good soldier.
Okay.
Well, the thing that's I think super powerful about their team is they're both military background. And, you know, I come from a military family, and their whole mindset is like, no matter the challenge, you just got to push through, figure it out, and get it done without complaining. And I think that's what makes Tara and Joey a very dangerous team to race against.
It seems
and the fact that she speaks like 18 languages.
Yeah. Like, I think Tara is better at like assessing the situation, just like making that quick decision and then kind of making the call.
Yeah.
And
Joey's good at doing
like
it.
The strong physical one that literally carried that whole
He ain't going to figure it out, but he's going to get it done. Like somebody will figure it out, but he'll get it done. I think that's why they work well together. And they're really turning my opinion about them.
Yeah,
I didn't think they had a chance going in the first couple episodes.
Tara and Joey.
Oh, I think they're a top contender. I really do.
Yeah, I definitely see them in the top 3 now. They've really earned a lot of my respect. All right, so let's get to it as Tara and Joey smoked Team Lolo in that luggage challenge. Definitely picking up on that. Let's jump to the roadblock. One team member has to choose an actor and recreate their mask using specific methods. A lot of people tried to recreate the mask without the specific methods and it wasn't going to get done unless you did it the right way, which I appreciate.
Are you sorry? Are you just not talking about anybody doing the singing?
What? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just didn't know if you were talking about like who did singing, like Becca and Floyd did it on 3 times. No, okay.
Well, how many times did I get to? Bring it up. What? I don't have my notes, Ben. You have the same notes I did.
Just following you.
Michael, you're getting to experience the race. This is what I got to watch them while they raced.
Yeah. Instead of just chiming in and saying the stuff I missed, she's just going to try to call me out and act. And I'm going to be here. I don't know. What do you want to say that we missed, Diana?
Mike, was it as hard as it seemed?
Yeah, you know what? The singing challenge was really difficult, and I think the judge was tough, man. You're singing in a foreign language, and I sing, and it had some really low and high notes, and some like wasn't like da 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 da. You know, it wasn't something we're relatively familiar with, so it was tough.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I skipped the whole chapter.
I know. Thank you.
So why did you say? Just go back.
Because I'm not looking at that. Anyway, my other question was, when you messed, like, was it one set ride, and then when you got to the end, you had to restart it, or could you, like, re-sing it as soon
in the same ride?
Right.
No, you could re-sing it in the same ride, and it took us one full lap to get it, which was about 5 times through the song, I think.
Oh, wow. How long was the ride, would you say?
Probably 30 minutes.
Okay.
minutes.
Okay.
So yeah, took us between
5
the
times.
reset and we sang it every bit of 5 times.
All right.
Do you still know it?
Parts of it, yeah. I brought the sheet music home for Pearl, so she has.
That's awesome.
That's great. Do you got to sing it to?
I tried to get her a little trinket or something in every country, even if it was just like some 25 cents in the native currency, and
That's
I would
cute.
squirrel them away.
Because that's what I said.
So
I'm
my
sorry.
bag probably got heavier.
Just like jumping to the beginning of the episode when you kind of confessed that you were like most upset about missing Pearl. My first reaction was like, but just think of all the awesome things that you're going to get to tell her about, all the places that you've been. And I'm sure that was kind of a way to push you through to, continue on and to continue to have that motivation. So.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I want her, first and foremost, I want her to take away from this that she can do whatever she wants if she's, puts her nose down, puts her head down, and goes after it. So I was so upset in Norway's. I thought we were going home, and I'm like, I let her down by not keeping going, which, there's only one winner. So,
right.
But at my headspace at that point, I'm like,
yeah.
I wanted to show her that I'm like Superman, and I'm not.
Yeah. And then we looked at the suitcase challenge, and every team just used muscle to get through it. I didn't see one lick of strategy for anybody in there. Nobody trying to tie things up. Nobody tried to stack things the proper way.
Kristen and Tiffany brought
push
rope.
it.
They would have busted their rope out and been
just push it down. If it falls out, it falls out. Everybody seemed to have that strategy. It's just like.
Can we talk about the passengers in the scenic side of the detour? Because some of them were trying so hard not to just crack up and laugh in the people's faces, and I was living for all of those moments. I was living.
Yeah, they had to look somewhat interested or somewhat
But one dude wasn't. One dude was doing this the whole time, trying not to laugh.
Yeah, that was.
Well, look at me in a red, white striped shirt. Come on, dude. That was not my size. That was not, and that hat, which doesn't fit on my giant melon. Of course you're gonna laugh. The poor bastards,
Brooke and Scott. Brooke and Scott looked great in the stripes. Everybody else was on not so much.
I thought Becca looked kind of adorable.
Yeah, Becca and Floyd.
I did see her rock climbing in that outfit.
At least we'll never lose her in the woods with that outfit on.
Where's Waldo? It's Where's Waddle of Italy.
So Team Lolo shares a water taxi with a random family during this one
that
too.
Was smart.
I was actually a little scared for them about penalty-wise, but apparently it worked out.
Why?
Because you're not allowed to follow another person, so I don't know if you're allowed to share another taxi with.
No, I think they just shared a taxi. It's like, if you're going in this direction, just let us off 2 stops.
I would have been scared
we're gonna keep going.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would have been.
I would, just too much of a question for me to even try it, but it worked out for them.
And it probably saved them some money too.
Absolutely. I'm sure they split it a little bit. What else did we miss from that part?
I think we pretty much.
Damn, savage.
I'm gonna host next time. I'm gonna host next week, and we'll see how smooth it runs.
Good luck to that. And this Legs Road. Remember, she said she's gonna host next week. In this Legs Roadblock, one team member had to choose an actor and repeat their mask in a specific method, as we said earlier. One of the problems I had with this task before we get into anything, the judges, when they were telling the damn people what they did wrong. That irked me so much.
Yeah, I did it because a lot of the times during our season and then other times in the past, you've just seen the person be like, nope, and then you're just staring at them. So I get that. The one thing I felt bad for this roadblock is this is one of the roadblocks where it is literally just chance. I know a lot of the people read mask and was like, maybe it's something artsy, but it's a guess. It's a shot in the dark because you really couldn't look around and know what's going on. You show up to a random building and have one sentence. So, this is one of the ones I feel bad for people because you don't know what you're getting into.
Yeah. And let's just rewind a little bit. It turns out Lolo had to pay like 70 to 90 euro for that taxi ride, so it did not work out well for them. And that's like almost $100, 90 euro, right? That's terrible.
I mean, that's over. It's like a third of your money because they don't $250 for this, $250 for this race.
Right,
yeah,
not
$250 American, which makes maybe 220 or 200.
So they paid €90 euro for a 5-minute ride.
They're absurdly expensive. It's only for tourists. It's only for tourists. Anybody who's from there, bang boom, you walk through this alley, you go down this place, bang, you're there, no problem.
Yeah.
For tourists, it's like, and the boats are gorgeous, and like. the other episodes, if you're a boat guy, I'm a boat guy. So I'm looking at these hand-hauled wooden boats that are absolutely stunning. So I get why they charge so much. But if you don't know where you're going,
That's the way to go.
they got you kind of by the short hairs. They're like, hey,
Yeah.
white Yankee, you
Well,
American, you want to get over here?
it doesn't
That's
matter.
how you get there.
You're going to go to
Oh.
Venice, and you're going on a gondola
Joey
at least
said
once.
they paid for the family too. So
Oh, they paid for the family?
that's
Oh,
what
hell
Joey
no.
says. Yeah.
Hell no.
I didn't know that.
Not me, brother. Not me, brother. All right, so we went to this task, and the task seemed pretty straightforward. The only twist was if you tried to paint it like a couple people did and not use the techniques, that's when you had to actually redo the whole thing over. So it seemed relatively straightforward, not too much problems for most teams. It was 3 teams, I think, had a little issue with it.
I think it depends on when you came in, too. Because when Brooke came in, she had already gotten to the point where she's just doing the detailing. So if you walked in at that point and tried to start and you didn't realize that you had to do the blending because she wasn't to that point yet, that's where you may have gotten a little, like, timing is everything for this challenge.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if they each had some judge that would kind of start things when they started.
No, because remember, Brooke was like, are you going to start? Will you restart for me? I just need to know the beginning. And she was just sitting there doing the detailing.
Yeah, I just think she's confused no matter where she goes. Even if they were just starting, she'd be like, "Could you just start again?"
But I mean, I always tell the one person. I'm not trying to defend her in this situation. I'm just saying it was a frustrating point of when you showed up.
All right, let's get to Joey and his one-liners. He was killing them this episode. Look at Joey getting some screen time. He cracks on Matt and Redman in their matching vests, which I appreciated as they ran past him. Past you, by the way. So that's probably why he was a little upset, because they were passing you. And then I also loved him cracking up on Mike looking like a Sasquatch and then imitated a velociraptor. It was like, I love that you guys have this cool like bond on the show during the season. You guys can see that you guys are real playful with each other.
Really quick in the chat room, Redman said that they didn't show up, but when he first walked in, the lady was in the middle of painting a mask, so he started incorrectly because he didn't get to see.
So it's all about timings, right?
It is, yeah.
That's James.
Also,
keen eye.
I'm telling you, I have a keen eye. You know that.
I know you do, man.
I will say the one thing I meant to say earlier, based off their like little interview about the luggage, I'm getting such a little man crush on Matt and Redman. Like, I just love their team.
Uh-oh.
Nothing weird. Don't look at me weird. I don't
Not
mean like
weird.
that.
No.
They're awesome.
What about the
They're
luggage?
awesome.
No, I was just saying, like during that interview, like that was an example of like I'm just starting to get a little man crush on them for stuff like that.
Tara looked great, but like her mask, like when she was painting her mask looked phenomenal.
Yeah, but see, this is the
She just
thing.
didn't use
Like
the
Liz
technique,
came in
right?
and thought that she could just like paint it
The same way Tara did.
right, and Tara just kind of had painted it the way that she thought replicated, but there was a certain step and the process that you had to do with layering the color on the bottom and then the black and then wiping it off.
Which is what Floyd pointed out. Floyd was talking the whole time, and he was like hit the nail on the head that like you had to do what she was doing, and other teams weren't.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like that's a no-brainer. I mean,
I love Redman says they love you back, but only in a weird way.
That's right. That's right. The weirdest beard love.
That's great.
weird love.
And we find out that your partner Liz paints cow skulls in her spare time.
She
a
needs
lot
to
of
make
layers
one
to that
for
onion.
you. She needs to make one for you, Mike, if she hasn't already.
Mike, what does she
I'm still
do?
waiting.
Is she like some weird like cowboy like?
She's an
What is she?
auctioneer. She's an auctioneer.
Yeah, she's an honest to God 5th generation auctioneer. And Phil thought that was the greatest thing in the world. So he would have her do it at the mat. I mean, Liz, sell me something. Hey, but
Oh my God.
I can't.
Why haven't we seen that yet?
I know that. Well,
Phil
like I know that's
was
her job, but
obsessed. She was so good at it. It's hilarious. I mean, because what do you see auctioneers on TV ever? When do you see a real live auctioneer, like a professional auctioneer?
None. The closest one is like the Garage Wars or whatever, Storage Wars.
Yeah, or some dude who's doing it at a charity auction who has no business doing it. She legit does it for a living, and she's awesome at it. Like
That's great.
awesome.
like I said, there's a lot of layers to that onion, man. She's got a lot going on.
All right. Why was Slow and Steady Wins the Amazing Race not the episode title? That seemed like the perfect episode title. All right, just a random thought. Floyd seems to nail this challenge on this first try. Was he the only one that nailed it on the first try?
Brooke did.
Did she though?
Yeah, she did. At least
I mean, that's what it was shown. That's what it was shown on TV. You know, sometimes even with us, like sometimes they'll tell you like, "Oh, they got it on the first shot," and I was like, "Actually, it was more like my third." But thanks.
yeah. My apparently I got the winning volleyball point, and you know that's
like,
not exactly.
She scored 1 point in the whole thing, and then they made it hers.
They made it
look
like. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Superhero.
Yeah, that's great. So Floyd did really well, and then he turned around and helped Tara, which I seemed to make a little bit of a difference for her because she was kind of lost up until that point, and Floyd helped her out. So we got a couple different alliances working here, and they seem Joey and Tara seem to be working a couple of the strong teams. They're working with Mike and Liz, who have won a couple legs. They're working with Team Fun, who have always been at the top of the pack.
Here's the thing, though, like those moments, and I say this like kind of two ways. I know you do it out of being nice, like, and I'm not saying anyone's doing it like maliciously or has a motive, but you do that when you're in the lead to try to do some insurance if you're ever in the back of the pack. I know that's like what I did. That's what I did. Because I was like, I always hope like, oh, I'm going to help this person out now because I'm in the front and there's like 4 teams behind me. I'm going to be fine.
That's
so
exactly.
Maybe next week when I'm in 5th place and I really need that help, they'll help me.
That's kind of that's not exactly how it went down for us, but I know for Argentina, we told Tiffany and Krista that the tango was a dancing challenge, and it didn't matter to us because we were on our way out, they were on our way in. So we, Justin said, "Oh, it's dancing," and then Krista came back to help us in the Netherlands when she told me that I had the wrong.
So it did turn out to help us in the end.
Whether that's the reason she helped us or not, but.
I think those are usually the moments that help. So I don't fault that at all. I know, Justin, sometimes you don't like that, but I think it's really good strategy when you're in the front.
No,
if you're trying to help when you're in the back, it's awful. Don't do that.
Yes, which we'll get to a little later. People, I don't get that. So Liz is tired of Brooke, and sometimes you have to put your big girl panties on and just do it yourself without having to rely on everybody.
I'm sure Liz could have lent her a pair of big girl panties.
Well, can I say something so funny earlier? Because when Brooke was having her little meltdown at the subway station, and she's like, I just don't want to run around with like my head chicken with a head cut off. And then later Liz in an interview was like, Brooke was just running around with her head. Chicken, I can't even say the statement right. Good Lord, running around with her head. Forget it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to say the statement. I'm struggling.
A chicken with the head cut off?
Thank you.
I think, was that you, Joey, trying to call for real?
He said he was trying to call us. He said, I'm calling you, but that looks like your brother.
Oh, God damn. Good God.
He's on my FaceTime, so we're trying to call him back. So, all right.
He wants to say something, apparently.
I don't know. It seems, Joey, did you bust his balls? Did we do something here that messed with Joey? Oh, that's Sarah. It's my brother, cousin Chi. Hey, we're live on my YouTube show right now. I will call you back. I love you, Curtis. Hey there, what do you say there? Trying to call you. Thanks, Joey, for ruining my damn show. Oh, Boston sucks.
You're just gullible, Jeff. I'm like, that's a 518 area code. I know that area code.
So, thanks. Appreciate it. She always tells me she knows things after.
We got distracted. Where were we at?
We were at the Roadblock here, and I got Joey cracking on Mike like a Sasquatch. Slow and Steady wins the Amazing Race. Liz getting all pissed off at Brooke, telling her to put her big girl panties on. And I think that it's not just her being frustrated with Brooke that's getting her lit at this point. I think it's her being frustrated with herself and letting that frustration out. And this is the first time we see Liz get to like breakdown moments as she starts seeing people pass her, and she's really breaking down.
No, that's one of the worst moments is when you're at a roadblock and then your people are passing you and you're losing. Every person that leaves, you're losing a buffer. It is awful.
Especially knowing that that's probably the last task before the pit stop, and you do see everybody leave and you're the last one there, and you know that it's because of you. I mean, that's a horrible, horrible feeling.
Oh, Justin's grinning because that was never y'all. That's what he's thinking right now.
No, it definitely was. Well, okay, maybe not the task before the pit stop, but when we were in the Netherlands and we had to do the painting. I mean, I felt like Liz because there were three, we got there first or second.
100% Argentina. I was in the first group, and then another group got there, and the whole first group was gone, and people from the second group were leaving. And I'm like, Jesus, I'm the only one here. We were here first.
We were lucky that our mistakes happened when there were more teams involved. So.
Yeah, we were very fortunate.
Yeah. It's brutal when you're in that situation. It's brutal. And we're thinking, because we got there ahead of Brooke and Scott, and I think we got there ahead of Lolo.
You said team 4. You came 4th and left like 7th.
6th.
Yeah. So we got there before 2 other teams anyhow. And so, yeah, it's disheartening when you are like, okay, we got a buffer. We're good. Well, and they go up there like, all right, Liz has got to be halfway through it. But we're downstairs. We don't know what's going on. And, my heart was breaking for Liz because she was so upset and she was going so hard on herself. And I'm going, look, dude, if we go home, if this is the end, you tried. Like, what do you want to do? I'm not mad. Like, I couldn't have done that. I can't paint. I can barely write my name. So she was still the better one of us to do that task.
Yeah, and then Brooke came over to her for help, and she was like, avoided her at first, and then be like, I'm just winging it.
What about when London was saying how like not good? Whose was it? Was it Liz's? She was like, Liz's was just not.
Yeah,
like,
it was Liz's.
Yeah. She was just saying like, I wish that I could say it was kind of good, but it wasn't. It wasn't good. And then there's a clip of Liz saying, "Is this good?" And yeah, it's great. Because you can't help. You can't say anything.
Yeah.
And it seems so mean, but in that situation when there's 3 people in a room and one of these 3 people is gonna be last. Like, what do you do? Like, I can't fault you for that. It sucks, but I just can't fault you for that.
Yep.
Well, and that's it. At that point, it's very real because a lot of good teams have gone home at that stage and can count all the teams on basically one hand besides yourselves. So you're going, this is real. Like, half of us are going to the finals.
It's coming down
half
the wire.
Of these people right here are going to the finals.
Yeah.
So it's like,
oh God, I never even had that thought. Oh, that's so right.
Yeah, like and because we were strangers, I think more so than your guys' experience, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think we bonded a little closer with the other teams because nobody knew anybody. So every team that went home, it hurt to see them go home. It was hard, and knowing that it could have been you, and knowing that people who you really have grown to like and care about are gone, but it wasn't you.
Right.
So it's like,
yeah,
it's tough. It's hard, man.
No, as much as we didn't want James Earl and Mama D to go home, we didn't want to see them in the finals. Like it was like a little bittersweet. We didn't want them to go home, and it hurt to see them go. But then when you're sitting back in your room, you're like, all right, we tried. We didn't do anything to hurt them, and.
But thank God they're gone.
Well, thank God they're gone, because I knew that he could beat me in the memory challenge. That was the only person I was really scared of.
And physically. I mean, that was...
Yeah, he kept up with me physically, and mentally he was tougher than I was. So we'll see how it goes in All Stars.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get to it. Matt and Redman finally win their first leg on the Amazing Race. Congratulations, Matt and Redman.
Still clap for that.
Yes, you guys seem to be the favorites the whole time, never winning a leg, and now you're winning a leg. According to the way you're finishing, third, fourth, second. Next week you should finish first.
Making their way up.
So it should be first, and then we'll see what happens. So we really I kind of rooted for them this leg. If they made it seem really easy, and I don't think they only saw one other team the whole leg.
Yeah, they saw Tara and Joey.
Yeah, that's the only other team, right, that they saw pretty much.
Yeah, they stayed pretty far ahead. They kind of killed this episode.
I never saw them in Venice. Those guys, they're monster competitors. I mean, Matt's a professional snowboarder, and Red and makes jokes about it constantly. Yeah, you know what I mean? He's
professional. He's a professional man. Like, that's what he is.
That's exactly right. He can do more with one leg than I can do with 2 fully functioning legs.
See, and that's why I said in the beginning that I would have picked him, because I said he just looked like a guy that has overcome a lot, and that his leg wouldn't hinder him, that his leg would be like a motivator. So yeah, he's a professional man.
The dude, he's a superhuman. Like, he's a superhero. He's so and a great dude, So it's like, again, you're competing against him, and you don't want him to leave. And I was happy that they won because we'd won a few trips, and we're like, all right, cool, we're still in it. all right, the boys won. That's awesome. Finally, because they are their performance for the team they were up until this point.
Right.
I mean, they crushed.
They seem pretty solid, though. Pretty solid. Never finishing below fourth is definitely.
And also remember that was in a U-turn as well. Never finished below fourth with a U-turn.
Yes.
Yes, that's very impressive. And Phil definitely sets up Redman with the leg joke. He says, you would say this is your best leg so far?
And he looks right down at Redman's leg.
And of course, Red takes the opportunity to whip it off and say, hey there, this is the best leg so far. So I like that he takes advantage of it. But how many leg puns and jokes can we get in one season? There's got to be a montage when it's all said and done.
So many. If you count behind the scenes, thousands.
I want somebody from the Racers Recap to make a montage. It's on you, Racers Recap fans. We have the best chatters in the room. And I see it. I love it. Everybody's back in the chat room.
Joey's saying he's a cheater because he had 3 legs.
That's great.
We said afterwards, too, we said, there should be a team 3-legged race.
Oh, that is awesome.
2 3-legged. So team fun comes in second, followed by team mom and dad, Brooke and Scott, team Lolo, and then the moment. Go ahead.
I want to talk about that one moment before we get to that moment.
Yep.
Because I think London and Logan did something so dangerous for their race and they didn't even realize it.
Uh-oh. Get to it. I like this. What'd you notice?
So, you know how after they left the roadblock, they paired together and they stayed together. They jumped on the mat together.
Right.
And I want you to think through this, if Mike and Liz had beaten them there, and it was close, it was within at least 10 minutes because you saw them all on the mat together.
Right.
If they had beat them there, do you know who would have gone home? So it's a tie between Brenton Stott and London and Logan. Do you know who would have gone home and why?
Whoever goes home the week before, whoever's the last or the last place the week before, or the
ding ding
place.
ding.
Wow.
Ding 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 ding.
And according to this, it would have been them. They were 6th.
Oh wow.
So they would have been out.
Yeah.
And I think that was a dangerous move for them that I'm not 100% sure they realized, but Mike was right on the head. So when you tie at the mat, there's no ties. You go back one lead, and whoever was higher the lead before is the higher place.
Did you know that, Mike, before the race, or did you learn that because of this situation?
No, I did, and I swear to God, Joey and Tara and Liz and I had said if we make it to the finals and if it's cutthroat and we're in the top 2, we're all 4 going to jump on the mat together. And then that's when a camera crew or a producer or someone told us and I legit meant it. I believe that Joey and Tara and Liz meant it as well, that we were going to split it 4 ways because we just met each other and
right.
This much taxes, you know what I mean? So we're going, it's, we wanted to, all 4 of us. So we had that plan in our head from like week 2 that the 4 of us, if we got there, we're going to walk onto the mat at the same time. They're like, well, they're just going to take whoever got the better place the week before.
Yep.
Joey's
100% right.
Yeah, Joey said that Scott and Brooke knew that. So they knew that they would have been safe in that
Oh,
game.
then that is strategy right there. You're like, yeah, come on, we'll sit with you. Yeah, we'll jump on that mat.
Dude, Scott is a super fan. Scott went to Harvard, which none of us knew. None of us knew he was a Harvard grad. He's like, yeah, I'm a recruiter.
Nice.
And no, he's wicked bright, and he's watched every season, every episode of The Amazing Race, Survivor, Big Brother, all of them. So Scott is a game player, man, and he is good at it.
Now, on the mat, we find out the team Liz and Mike are staying. Did you turn and look to see Brooke and Scott and Team Lolo? There was a hesitant and then excitement. Was there excitement real? What do you think, James Earl? Before we get to the professional, James Earl, what do you think? Was there excitement real?
As someone who did the race, I think Mike hit on this very well. Like, you hate to see other teams go home because it breaks your heart because, they're doing everything you're doing. They're busting ass. But deep down in you, you're like, please go home. Please go home. Please go home. Because I remember there was definitely times where I had already checked in and I was like watching all the teams check in and I was like, oh, it was on lead 3 when the break dancers got out. I was watching them check in and they were dancing. I was like, damn it, I think they're staying. And when they didn't, I was like, yes, they're not staying. And it made you feel like a bad person. But at the end of the day, you need the other teams to go home to win. So I think they just made the best of a bad situation.
What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, we're all close. We're all gonna have our opinions on the way the race was run. I was certainly thrilled to death that it was a non-elim leg, and I'm going, how lucky could we seriously get between Kevin and Jen taking a penalty in Panama and the keep racing in Norway, and now this, and that's why we kept Team Ricky Bobby. If we ain't first, we're last. Like, we either dominating it or we're absolutely just shooting ourselves in the foot.
Yeah,
and they were happy-ish. I hope anybody would want a non-elim leg to be for them when they come in last. So there's only so many. But yeah, I believe that was genuine.
Well,
I do. They're good people.
You guys seem to be hogging up all these non-eliminations.
Hey, more power to you. As someone who benefited from one, that is the best feeling in the world, showing up and they're like, you're last, you suck, but you're not out yet. That is the best feeling.
It's like, because you've resigned yourself to the fact. Like, I'm like, there's no way we're getting lucky again. There's no way we're getting on a limb. Like, and we ran there. I said, you know what? They could get lost, and we legit believed that anybody could get lost in Venice. I'm like, so we're going to run. We're going to find this place. And we were only a couple minutes behind them, maybe less than 5.
I mean, hopefully that helps you next leg when you have a speed bump and there's a return.
Yes, we are going to talk about that for sure. All right, let's just get to it. Next week, it says they're heading to Greece.
Jealous, really jealous.
Another place that I'm extremely jealous of, where there's going to be a foot race up the stairs. I like seeing that, head-to-head foot races. More Mike and Liz self-driving issues.
Danger zone.
Oh, my God. And then they tease you with this line. I can't believe they U-turned them. So crappy. And then Mike with the cowards. It's all pointing towards Mike and Liz getting U-turned. Can they overcome a speed bump?
Is that
I don't think so. I don't think that's what it is.
And a self-drive?
I don't think that's what it is. I think they were referencing Tara and Joey because Tara and Joey said they were U-turned in the race. And I think Mike and Liz are so close to Tara and Joey. It's kind of like when Krista was saying, like, it's always the quiet ones when the boys got U-turned. I think that's what this is referencing.
Because I heard Tara say, I can't believe they U-turned us.
I thought I heard her say, I can't believe they U-turned them.
No, they said us.
I can't believe they U-turned us.
I had one more thought, too, about the episode, and I'm sorry for keep backtracking.
No, there's no backtrack. Go.
I want all future racers to look at one moment and really embrace it, because after Liz finishes the roadblock, when they did the clue and they meet downstairs, instead of getting defeated, instead of getting tired, like, they were talking through their emotions, but you see them put their backpacks on and haul ass. Like, they were hauling it. And that's what you have to do, because you never know when you're going to be out. And I experienced that in the Netherlands, because Mom and I should have been out in the Netherlands, but because we kept hauling ass, we weren't. So, like, never forget that. And that was, like, a great moment. And I know it didn't quite work out that way, but it easily could have.
You feel like there's no way somebody could be behind you. There can always be somebody behind you. Somebody who made an extra wrong turn. Like in Panama, again, going back to week 1, I thought we were done. I'm like, oh my God, we're going to be the first team out on the race. I did all this training and preparation, and I'm done. And we weren't. You know, we got there and we saw them sitting out their penalty. So yeah, when you race, that's to any racer. You gotta assume behind you and assume that they're chasing you. So you can't quit.
I learned that early in the race, in the first leg, as I'm crying, like thinking I'm going home. All right, so overall leg design, I wasn't a huge fan. Nothing too.
I thought this was one of the better ones.
Yeah,
I like the route, but I didn't think that there was too many opportunities for passing each other.
I feel like
it seemed
the
like
way
the mass challenge
that Venice
is
is designed, though, that there is that you can get lost or it could take you longer. And it did take some teams longer who chose to run instead of taking a water taxi. I thought it was a decent leg.
Decent.
What
are we going to say there? My
Justin
super
has
fan
high standards.
Yes. It's Venice. It's one of the most looking forward to places. You should take it to the next level. All right, Justin's super fan move is going to London. I like Lolo this episode. I like the fact they were playing strategically, lying to teams. I like the fact that she's always positive, no matter how far behind they are, and that allows her to never feel the pressure. I don't really see her feeling the pressure as much as a lot of other teams. And I'm going to give it to Team Lolo getting a super fan move this week. James Earl, seal clap. Who's going?
My seal clap is going to go to the moment I talked to earlier with Matt and Redman. Just in the entire episode, there could be like
Nice.
15 seal claps from them winning the lead, for their little interviews talking about the 100,000-pound suitcases. Like, it just, all of it. Seal clap to all of it.
Nice. All right, Diana, who's getting put in check?
I'm putting Brooke in check because I just think she needs to try to be a little more positive. I'm not asking her to like change her personality completely, but hopefully maybe Scott can like rub. I mean, he can.
Oh, what's he rubbing?
Yeah.
I was gonna say Scott can rub on me, but
Remember, they didn't
no,
find
like-
love in Venice. They didn't
I
find
know,
love.
I know. No,
Not
but I
with this
just think
one.
Brooke can like try to be a little more positive and try to take some of Scott, Scott's positivity and Scott's like let's go get him attitude, and she can maybe change if she's enjoying the race or she's not enjoying it. I think that would maybe help.
And I think Corey's LOL award would probably go to one of Joey's one-liners throughout the race. He had 3 of them in this episode.
I think it would have gone to Scott. Scott's
Really?
little, like, not her.
A little not her. That might, his little sassiness. All right, so let's get to this next week. What are we thinking? Mike and Liz, is there any chance that they can overcome a speed bump and a self-drive even if they don't get U-turned?
And I hate to say this to Mike's face, and I'm sorry. I really do feel like next week is going to be the end of Team Mike and Liz, and I hate it. I hate it for them, but I think they're going to be out. Unless for some grace of God, it's another like keep continuing or not on them. We've seen them, and they are strong competitors when the taxis take them to some places because they can kill the challenges. They can. It's when they have to self-navigate and self-drive is it's a big hurdle for them. Maybe they'll overcome it, but I'm scared for them being so far back with a speed dump and a self-guiding lead.
Joey, is you turning your seal clap, James Earl?
Oh,
You have to do the other side.
I have to do the other side.
You have to pick somebody else. You can't.
Okay, it's not going to be Joey. Sorry, dude. My next seal clap is going to be Floyd's moment when he turned in his mask and he thought he was not right and figured out he was right. Because his reaction was everything. So
Sorry,
Oh, how excited was his face? How great was that face when he realized he
Right?
got the clue? Oh,
no, it was
my Lord.
amazing.
Yeah, he really enjoyed it. He seems to be loving it. Yeah, it seems the only way that I think this U-turn is actually going to turn out to help Mike and Liz, because I think without this U-turn, there's no chance that they overcome a speed bump and a self-drive. But I think the U-turn could turn out to be going against a stronger team, which I don't think Matt and Redman are getting there first. I think Matt and Redman are getting U-turned.
You think Matt and Redman are getting U-turned?
I do. I think they're going to be getting U-turned. There's going to be a bunch point before this. I think one of the other teams are getting there. Matt and Redman are getting U-turned.
Wait, let's think through who can U-turn next week, though? Let's think through this. Because the first one was a blind, so that doesn't matter. Who U-turned to the second board? It was Mike and Liz and Team Fun, right? So there's only 4 teams that can U-turn.
No, it's unlimited this season.
Is it really?
Unlimited U-turns this season.
Oh, good.
Oh.
That changed the
First
game.
time.
I thought it was
First time in
unlimited
race history,
because of the blind U-turn.
Ooh.
That it would have been unlimited. That there would have been.
Oh, that's good to know. So it can be anybody. See, that was going to change the game for me. But if it can be anyone, okay.
Team Scott, Brooke and Scott? Is Brooke and Scott the ones that's going to U-turn him? It might be Brooke and Scott.
You never know. Those U-turns, they're dangerous.
Yeah, so we'll see. I think Brooke and Scott are going to U-turn the boys. And then what's the coward moment? That's the thing that's irking me. What was the coward moment?
The coward moment is whoever U-turns. Like it's. I think it's that.
Yeah, I think.
But you wouldn't call somebody who U-turned Matt and Redman cowards, right?
Right, because I don't think Matt and Redman get U-turn. I think it's Tara and Joey, and I think it's because they're scared of Tara and Joey.
Oh, I love it. I love the season so far. I really appreciate this cast. I love the fact that you guys are being active on social media. I love the fact that
really
they're either letting you or you're not caring. Go
It'd
ahead.
be interesting if Mike and Liz U-turn Tara and Joey.
Oh, there's no way. There's no way in hell.
Well,
There's no way in hell they'd be this close.
You'd be fishing my body out of a river somewhere. I really wish I'd have done that to Joey.
That's
No.
great.
Even if it was for the $1 million, I don't know that I could have turned my back on Tara and Joey. I love those guys. I mean, and it's not just the age thing, but it has a lot to do with it being the same age and having similar, in the military, me being National Guard. So I was never deployed like those guys, but
Joey's going stab in the chat room.
And Mike, I did that. I did that with y'all, with Tara and Joey, because Mom and I had that connection with the cheerleaders. Like, I could have never in my life done that to the cheerleaders, and it was on TV too. And we got eliminated. Mom was like talking to Kristen, and she's like, "Please don't U-turn us." And Kristen was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like, that was Kristen's response. So like, I did that bond.
All right, so Mike and Liz are going home. Who's winning next week's leg?
Ooh, I'm gonna say it.
Whoa!
That's what he said. You was going home.
Well, I'm just saying, you don't gotta say it again. You don't gotta put it out in the universe like that.
It's already happened. I don't know if you know this or not.
So who's gonna win?
Oh, that's right.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be Team Fun that comes back to Den and win.
Diana, who's going home? Who's winning?
Oh, who's going home? Oh goodness.
It's U-turn. Who's it killing?
I'm gonna go Lolo.
Team Lolo.
Lolo.
That's who I thought was going home this week.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, Lolo seems like a good chance of going home, but I don't think anybody would U-turn Lolo unless that's the coward move to U-turn the team that's already in last place.
No, I think that like someone would U-turn Lolo if it's to save their own net. So like if I'm Tara and Joey and I didn't U-turn and I show up, it is Lolo. It is Lolo by all stretches of the imagination.
Yeah, like I definitely wouldn't U-turn you, Mike. You and like knowing that you have a speed bump, and we kind of had that situation for us that Tanner and Josh, they came in last, had a non-elimination, had a speed bump, and we had agreed that we wouldn't U-turn them because to me, like that's really just kicking somebody when they're down to U-turn somebody that already has a speed bump, that's already has the obstacle.
What do you think, Mike? Do you think you turning someone who has a speed bump is cowardly?
I hope you're right, Diana. I hope you.
I just kind of always come at this like teacher-ish place, and I just think that's like I do think that that's cowardly. They already have a speed bump. They already have enough to overcome. Why interfere with that? And that's really just like we want you to go home. In that case.
I mean, I did it if you really want to make sure you stay in the race, by all means. Listen, Diana, y'all two didn't have to race for desperation. Most of the time, y'all were like, good, y'all are in the front having fun. Like, as someone who races for desperation, oh, hell yes, I would have.
Well, we talked about that. We said, could you imagine if Team 5 was on our season?
Joey Butina in the chat room.
Oh, he said he'd do it again.
You do it again.
Well, yeah, you won. I hope you do everything the same again.
That's great. Thanks for joining us, Joey. You caught us at the end here. I love having you guys. Again, guys, I really appreciate each and every one of you. Is there anything else we want to get out there? Mike, is there anything that you want to get out from past episodes? Maybe clear up some things? Or is there anything you have an opportunity, a platform? We get thousands of people.
Really, man. Eat more meat. I'm a butcher. No.
What's your favorite cut?
My favorite cut?
Be careful. Tons of tens of people are listening.
Live.
Death row, probably lamb loin chops.
Lamb loin chops. Okay.
Lamb loin chops is probably my favorite.
Nice.
You're doing great. I love the podcast. I love you guys have got great insights, having done the race. You got great personalities. Thanks, Corey, a hell of a lot for showing up, bud.
Oh, I texted him. He said he's on a flight. His flight got delayed. He feels bad.
That's fair. No, you guys are killing it. I enjoy this every week. I look forward to it. So thanks for having me on, man.
No, thank you, man.
Thanks for coming on.
We really appreciate this cast, and we hope that your season saves us. So we need one more season, one more All-Stars.
What are tummy sticks?
What? Tummy sticks?
What are tummy sticks?
Uh-oh.
How many people are watching this?
Hundreds of tens.
All right.
That doesn't sound like something, especially if Redman brought it up. You know it's not something good.
No, Joey brought it up.
I'm sure Joey brought it up. It's something I suggested to Joey at the LA airport on day one, and we'll just leave it to everybody's imagination.
I guarantee it has something to do with a male appendage of some animal, but that's what I'm guessing. All right, America and every other country that's watching, we really appreciate
Mike, don't hang up right away because I want to know.
We really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. We try to get you out of here by 8. If you want to see future people on, let us know in the comments, questions below. Thumbs up, like, share. We love you. Later.
Bye.
Bye.